Welcome to Forgotten Mysteries, where the shadows of history reveal hidden truths and the secrets of the mighty whisper to us through the ages. In this episode, we peel back the layers of one of the most enigmatic and powerful institutions in the world, the Vatican. The Vatican Secret Archives, known formally as the Archivist Secretum Apostolicum Vaticanum, serve as the central repository for all acts promulgated by the Holy See. The mystique surrounding these archives stems not just from their vast holdings of church documents, papal account books, and various other ecclesiastical paraphernalia accumulated over the centuries, but also from the strict limitations on who may access these documents and what can be made public. Spanning 85 kilometers of shelving with documents dating back to the 8th century, the archives are a treasure trove for historians and researchers. However, the criteria for access are stringent. Only qualified scholars who undergo a rigorous application process are granted entry, and even then, documents related to the governance of the Church, newer than 1939, are generally off-limits. This restriction fuels widespread speculation about what might be hidden within the depths of these storied archives. Conspiracy theorists often claim that the Vatican could be concealing proof of historical anomalies, church scandals, or even evidence of extraterrestrial life and biblical artifacts like the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail. Beyond conspiracy theories, there is genuine historical value and intrigue in the withheld documents. For example, the archives are believed to contain detailed records of the Church's interactions with historical figures, such as King Henry VIII, whose request for a marriage annulment was denied by the Pope, leading to England's break with the Catholic Church. Scholars also seek access to more recent documents to study the Church's role during World War II and its relationships with fascist regimes. The transparency of these archives could potentially reshape perceptions of the Church's historical and political roles, offering new insights into global events. The apparitions of the Virgin Mary in Fatima, Portugal, in 1917 have become one of the most significant and controversial religious events of the 20th century. 3 young shepherd children, Lucia Santos and her cousins, Jacinta and Francisco Marto, claim to have received visions and prophecies from Mary, known as the Secrets of Fatima. While the first 2 secrets were disclosed in the 1940s, involving visions of hell and predictions of World War II, the third secret was kept hidden by the Vatican until 2000. The delayed release of the third secret, which described a vision of the death of a pope and other religious figures, led to intense speculation and conspiracy theories. Many believers and scholars have posited that the content revealed by the Vatican in 2000 was not the full secret, suggesting that it might contain more disturbing revelations about the future of the Church and the world. Some theorists believe it predicts apocalyptic events involving the Pope, which the Vatican might have chosen to conceal to prevent panic or to maintain control over the religious narrative. Critics argue that the Church's handling of the Fatima secrets reflects broader issues of transparency and manipulation of religious beliefs. The intense interest in these secrets demonstrates how deeply prophecy and mysticism are embedded in human consciousness, and the lengths to which institutions will go to protect their authority and influence over such narratives. The Vatican's position during World War II, particularly under the leadership of Pope Pius XII, remains one of the most debated aspects of modern church history. Officially, the Vatican maintained a stance of neutrality, but numerous historians and scholars have questioned the extent of this neutrality, suggesting that the Pope might have been privy to or indirectly involved in some of the darker aspects of the war. Documents released over the years paint a complex picture. Some show that the Vatican attempted to use its diplomatic channels to mitigate some of the war's horrors, notably helping to save thousands of Jews from the Holocaust by hiding them in monasteries and churches and facilitating their escape from Nazi-occupied Europe. However, other documents and testimonies suggest a more troubling relationship with the Axis powers, including potential financial dealings and diplomatic correspondences that indicated a level of complicity or, at the very least, a failure to adequately condemn the genocide occurring throughout Europe. The potential existence of additional undisclosed documents from this era fuels ongoing debate. If made public, these records could offer new insights into Pope Pius XII's papacy, possibly clarifying or condemning his actions and strategies during one of history's darkest periods. The impact of such revelations could significantly alter the Church's historical narrative and affect its moral authority. The Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, has been at the center of numerous financial scandals that have rocked the Church and sparked international legal battles. Established during World War II, the bank has been implicated in various illegal activities, including laundering money for the mafia and other dubious groups, facilitating the illegal transfer of funds across countries, and engaging in corrupt financial practices with various dictatorial regimes. One of the most notorious scandals involved the 1982 death of Roberto Calvi, dubbed God's banker, due to his close ties with the Vatican. Calvi was found hanging from London's Blackfriars Bridge, his pockets stuffed with bricks and cash. The initial ruling of suicide was contested, and subsequent investigations pointed towards murder, with links to the Vatican's financial misconduct suggested as a motive for his killing. These scandals have prompted calls for reform and greater transparency within the Vatican Bank. Efforts have been made in recent years to clean up its operations, but skepticism remains about the depth of these reforms and the historical scope of its misdemeanors. The implications of these scandals are profound, potentially undermining the Church's ethical stance and its role as a moral and spiritual leader. The early Christian Church faced many theological and ideological challenges, none more significant than the threat posed by Gnosticism. This diverse belief system, which thrived in the first few centuries AD, offered a different perspective on Christianity, focusing on esoteric knowledge and the idea that salvation comes from self-awareness and insight rather than orthodox faith and practices. The discovery of the Nag Hammadi Library in 1945, a collection of Gnostic texts, reinvigorated interest in alternative Christianities. These texts suggest that early Christianity was far more diverse than traditionally portrayed, with debates about the nature of Christ, salvation, and the universe. The Church's alleged suppression of these texts, ostensibly to solidify orthodox doctrine and centralize ecclesiastical power, has led to accusations of historical censorship. If the Vatican were to possess other undisclosed Gnostic writings, their publication could revolutionize understanding of Christian history, potentially validating Gnostic beliefs and offering a broader view of religious thought that could challenge the uniformity of Catholic doctrine. This possibility continues to intrigue scholars and believers alike, representing a hidden chapter of religious history that could reshape contemporary faith. The Vatican's long-standing interest in astronomy might raise eyebrows, considering its primary role as a religious institution. However, the Vatican Observatory, one of the oldest astronomical research institutes in the world, symbolizes the Church's commitment to understanding the universe. This interest has sparked considerable debate and conspiracy theories, especially regarding the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Speculation about the Vatican's extraterrestrial knowledge was fueled when Father José Gabriel Funes, a former director of the Vatican Observatory, publicly acknowledged the possibility of alien life, asserting that its existence does not contradict Catholic theology. This statement led many to ponder whether the Vatican knows more about the universe than it publicly admits. The observatory's participation in conferences dedicated to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence further complicates the public's perception, suggesting a deeper level of involvement in astrobiology than merely a passive interest. Conspiracy theorists suggest that the Vatican might be preparing for an eventual disclosure about alien life, possibly holding information gleaned from ancient texts or astronomical observations that could alter humanity's understanding of life in the universe. They speculate that such knowledge could have profound theological implications, potentially necessitating a dramatic reinterpretation of biblical texts and the Church's teachings on creation. The implications of such a disclosure are vast. If the Vatican were to confirm the existence of extraterrestrial beings, it would not only impact religious doctrines but also raise questions about the nature of God's relationship with all sentient life. Such a revelation would force a reevaluation of concepts such as salvation, sin, and redemption, extending them beyond Earth to a cosmic scale. The Jesuit order, officially known as the Society of Jesus, has been a significant yet controversial component of the Catholic Church. Founded in the 16th century by St. Ignatius of Loyola, the Jesuits were initially established to counter the Reformation and to propagate the Catholic faith around the globe. Over the centuries, their role has expanded to include education, scientific research, and diplomacy. The Jesuits' influence in global education is profound, operating prestigious universities and schools worldwide that have educated many global leaders. This educational network fosters a unique blend of intellectual rigor, ethical training, and loyalty to Jesuit ideals, extending the order's influence into secular and political realms. However, their significant involvement in global affairs has also sparked theories about the order acting as a covert power broker. These theories often portray the Jesuits as a shadow government, manipulating international events to serve the churches or their own agenda. Critics point to historical instances where Jesuits were expelled from countries, fearing their influence and alleged interference in governmental affairs. The Jesuits' reputation as skilled strategists and influencers feeds into conspiracy theories suggesting their involvement in orchestrating geopolitical events, from revolutions to policymaking, to shape the world according to the Catholic Church's vision, or, as some would argue, a more sinister, self-serving vision. Beneath the grandeur and spirituality of Vatican City lie extensive catacombs and vaults that are as much a part of the Vatican's allure as they are a source of mystery. These underground chambers are rumored to house not only the remains of popes and saints, but also invaluable relics that carry immense historical and religious significance. Legends and speculative theories suggest that these vaults contain relics such as the Veronica's veil, fragments of the True Cross, or even the Holy Grail. The existence and supposed supernatural properties of these relics have been subjects of intrigue and veneration for centuries. Their importance transcends mere historical value. For many, they represent tangible connections to the divine. The secrecy surrounding these relics and their whereabouts feeds into broader conspiracy theories that the Vatican is hiding vital elements of Christian history that could potentially challenge or change doctrinal teachings. The implications of disclosing the true contents of the Vatican's vaults could be revolutionary, potentially validating or refuting long-held religious beliefs and altering the spiritual landscape. Prophecies and visions have long played a role in shaping the doctrines and public perceptions of the Catholic Church. The Vatican's association with prophecies is a blend of public acknowledgement and secretive deliberation, giving rise to a plethora of theories about what the Church knows and chooses to disclose. The most notable of these prophecies is the prophecy of the popes, attributed to Saint Malachy, an 11th century Archbishop of Armagh. According to this prophecy, there will be 112 popes from Malachy's time until the end of the world. Each pope is described in a cryptic phrase that believers claim accurately matches each pope up to the present day. The prophecy suggests that the current pope could be the last, leading to wild speculations and fears about the future of the Church and the world. Such prophecies, whether considered genuine foretellings or dismissed as pious fabrications, are deeply embedded in the Church's mystique. They influence perceptions and decisions within the Vatican, with each new pope's election scrutinized for signs of Malachy's prophecy coming to fruition. The Vatican is more than a religious entity. It is a sovereign state that engages in global diplomacy like any other nation. Its influence on international politics is both overt and subtle, involving a range of activities from mediating international conflicts to advocating on moral and social issues at the United Nations. The Holy See's diplomatic missions around the world work to advance the Church's perspectives on human rights, environmental care, and peace building. Its moral authority makes the Vatican a unique and respected voice in international forums, advocating for global peace and justice. However, this influence is not without controversy. The Vatican's diplomatic actions are often seen through the lens of its moral teachings, leading to accusations of it meddling in secular affairs. From its stance on contraception and abortion to its views on marriage and family, the Vatican's doctrines can clash with secular policies, causing friction in its diplomatic relations. Moreover, the Church's history of forming alliances with various political regimes, sometimes at odds with its public stances, adds layers of complexity to its political role. Critics argue that the Vatican's political maneuvers are aimed at preserving its influence and authority, sometimes at the expense of transparency and accountability. If you enjoyed today's exploration and wish to delve deeper into the mysteries of our world, remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest investigations. Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Your insights enrich our collective quest for truth. Goodbye for now, and remember, the truth is often stranger than fiction.